inside so strong. Whoa, there's something inside so strong. Whoa, there's something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. Know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, you're doing me wrong. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so long. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so long. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong so long. Thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Whoa, whoa, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho. Your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place in time. You squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. Because there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Something inside so strong. Brothers barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. Thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Whoa, whoa, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho, your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place in time, you squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you, because there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it.
Hello, 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 lovely people. Yes, it's yet another exciting and intriguing episode of Ttu Debates right here on the land of TTU and right here at Radio Premier 100.5, like we do as usual. I'm your host, Mami Ikwaman and Asase, doing it on the mic. And today, again, as usual, today is a Tuesday, yes. It's a blessed Tuesday, yes. I'm happy. Let's say I'm blushing today because Radio Premier has surprised me and I'm so happy about it. I've received my badge as the best follower or fan for Premier 100.5. So you can also receive your badge by also following Premier 100.5 on Facebook and be interactive with every program and get your badge and display. Be an outstanding Facebook user with Premier 100.5. And the motion before the house, I know most people know because you've been seeing it on my status. People have been sharing it and all that, and I'm happy about it because the motion before the house there, something inside so strong and packed. Well, for the benefit of people at home, of course, and my Facebook viewers, let me read out the motion before we get on to my panels, of which I can see they are very happy, but at the same time really reading some things on their lips and all that. Hey, well, the motion before the house says, okay, so it starts with a preamble. It says that the consistent change of governance in Africa is the major cause of retarded development. Here is the motion. This house believes that a centralized system of governance is the sure way. What is your take on this motion? Our home, those are home, those everywhere. What is your take on it? And like we do it always, you can get interactive on Facebook Live. Tell a friend to tell another friend. And if you have a radio, you can just listen or tune in. But if you can't, just go on Facebook Live and listen to us. Let's have fun. Let's have the discussion. Give your candid opinion about the motion before the house. And let's do it together like we do. Moving on straight to my panel. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. How are we all? Hey,
We are good.
I can see some fine gentlemen be at the back there smiling at me. I like that. Okay, so both of you already know, so I'm not even going to introduce you, or should I?
You can't say
Well, interesting. So moving on straight to my gentleman on my left. I've not seen you guys before, and I'd like to hear a little bit about yourself. So your name and maybe your school, let's be European or anything. Yes. So
Okay.
let me start with this gentleman.
Okay, so
Hello.
I'm Michael, a different one, and
Okay.
I school at KNUST.
KNUST. Hey.
Third year student.
A third year student. That is interesting. Well, okay, so my gentleman, if you can substitute is it Michael? Okay.
Okay, so my name is Emmanuel Papakwansa Sagalin, and I'm a student of the University of Cape Coast, a level 200 student.
A level 200 student. Oh, at least I didn't quite get you. Come again. maybe my listeners at home will get confused. So now take your time, break it down one. But yeah, scaring my pal. I don't like that. Hey, so break it one by one.
So my name is Emmanuel Papakwansa Sagalin. I prefer to be called Sagalin. And
Emmanuel Papakwansa
yeah.
Sagalin.
You don't worry, Sagalin.
Okay,
yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
And then,
hey, would you make a look at Sutherland?
No, Sagal, like Sagalin.
Okay, like,
Yeah, Saga.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm a student of the University of Cape Coast, a level 200 student.
A level 200 student. What are you studying?
B.Ed at English and History.
What?
B.Ed at English and History.
B.Ed at
B.Ed.
Bachelor of Arts in Education.
Okay.
Yeah.
B.Ed. Okay. Well, thank you very much for confusing us and convincing us. Anyways, that is what debaters are for: confusing and convincing. Anyway, moving on to my guest, of which I don't want to introduce because one of them is already threatening me behind the scenes. Well, I'm moving on straight to my gentleman because hey, you know why? Yes. So.
Oh, I'm up here with as usual.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like to call you Mr. Kojo.
Oh, thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I hope everything is well.
Kept by grace.
And you are very prepared for the motion?
Why not?
Interesting.
With my brothers, they want to scare us, but no.
Oh, what? And you're suddenly well, madam.
Oh,
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm fine, my gentleman.
Please, I'm not an agenda.
Yes, so your name may be for new listeners or viewers at home for the benefit.
So
I'm
Laurentia Aban,
Laurentia Aban,
student of the Chakra Technical University. Level
Yes.
yeah, level 400.
Level 400.
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. So now my audience are acquainted with my panels. Audience, these are your panels. These are my audience. Well, like we do it in every program. Okay, so the motion before the house, it's quite interesting though. Like I want to get our general overview of the whole motion. What do you think before we move on straight onto the debate? Okay, the actual debate. I'm not saying we should debate too. We should just give an overview of the motion. Okay, Mr. Sutherland, please, are you okay? Sutherland. Sagalin. Hey, wait there, babe. You said Emmanuel, right? Let me stick to the Emmanuel. So, Kojo, give me a general overview about the motion before the house.
Well, it's actually a great one. For me, I believe a centralized governance won't do anything good for we the Africans. We've actually tried it before, and it actually didn't work out. Gaddafi, it's an example of that. So why continue it?
Okay. Why do you continue with it? So, Madam, hello.
Hi.
Yes. So you give me an overview about the motion before the house.
You would have to mention my first name before.
Madam Laurentia Abai.
Yes, please.
Please, what is your general overview about the motion before the house?
Okay, I would like to side with Kojo, Mr. Kojo,
Okay.
because I don't feel like, or I don't think that we need a centralized system here in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So basically,
That is all that you can say. You don't think we need a centralized system of governance in Africa? Okay, so that is you siding with Mr. Kojo.
Okay,
so,
so-
Mr. Michael.
The motion is quite interesting. It's
Mhm.
quite interesting, but
Mhm.
I will side with it. I go for the motion, and I think that a centralized system of government
Mm-hmm.
is the
Okay.
sure way.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can see, as Sajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah
Mm-hmm.
wanted to start this movement, uniting all Africans and using the centralized system, and we chose otherwise,
Yes.
and we see Africa today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that is your general overview. Okay, so Mr. Sagalin. I hope I'm right.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I deserve a standing ovation for this. Anyway, so what is your general overview about the motion before?
I think I'll side with my brother Michael. Centralized system, I think, is the best for Africans, and I think even globally, Because if you have just a person or just a group administering the country and doing things, regulating things in the country, I think Ghana will not be, or Africa will not be where it is now. My brother mentioned Asajafo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and then they can think of Gaddafi, what Gaddafi did in Libya, the kind of policies, everything was running so right until the people themselves, tried something else. We're thinking some kind of something else, and then it ended up somewhere else.
Okay.
And then I think for me, I think centralized system is the best for everybody, even the world.
Okay. Thank you very much for your candid opinion about the motion before the House. And like we do as usual, I'm going to give out the studio lines to our listeners at home and also our Facebook Live viewers. Maybe they would like to call, phone in to give their opinions about it, maybe a suggestion or anything to help for the motion before the House today. So this is the studio lines for MTN users as usual is 024 781 9113, and for Vodafone users 050 620 3669. Giving out the studio line again 024 781 9113, and for Vodafone 050 62 03669. For Vodafone users, you can call in, phone in, give your candid opinion about the motion before the House. And let's move on straight to Facebook Live, where you can get interactive. We get people to also listen and give their candid opinion. Okay, so this is from Facebook. We are having Bernard Vanderpoy saying the nice program. Rosalind Assassi saying time as small, and Monarch, we are here. Okay, so this is Mickey J. He said the call man, and Assassi. Hey, well, and we have Vanderpoy again giving us a round of applause. I hope in the middle of this we get people to also bring out their opinions on Facebook Live. Without much further I do. Anyways, we move straight onto the motion before the House. So I want to get those who are for the motion and those who are against the motion, okay, so that we don't get any hiccups or anything, like, you understand. So Mr. Michael, what stance are you for?
Okay, I'm for the motion.
You are for the motion.
Yeah.
Okay, Madam Doreen.
You know how we do it.
Lawrence.
Always against the motion.
Hey, against the four. You did a bit choking. You see, I go play choke. Yes.
I also for the motion.
You're for the motion, so it means you're supporting him. Okay.
I'm strongly against the motion.
Hey, you nearly sided with them, but God saved you. Okay, so you're against the motion before the House. And like I always do, I'll give out the rules for the debate today. So today we've extended the time for all our debaters. You have 10 minutes for the first round. Okay, each and everyone gets 10 minutes to bring out their points, argue out their points, confuse and convince us, raise points, debunk them, and do everything that you're supposed to do in that 10 minutes. Okay. After the 10 minutes, we move on to the second round, where every contestant have just 5 minutes to wrap up everything. With the 5 minutes, you can give us the list of points you've made. You can cite examples or importance or anything relevant to the motion for us to also side with you. Okay, yes. So, and during the first 1 minute, I'll make a sign for you to know that you've spoken for 1 minute. Okay. So that you know you've spoken for 1 minute and you have additional 9 minutes to go. On your last minute, that is when you get to the 9th minute. Okay, I'll give you another sign for you to know that you've gotten to your last minute for you to come and conclude your motion or your debate or argument. Okay. Before 1 minute, you can't raise POI. POI, like I always say, is point of interest. Okay, that is when you get to ask questions. Maybe you try to confuse whoever is talking. Or maybe he says something and is trying to contradict his or herself, and he tries to bring him back on point. And if he's unable to come up from that breakdown, then move on from there. That is a POI. Okay, you can ask as many questions or POIs as possible, but it is up to him or her to either accept the POI or not. But if he or she doesn't accept the POI, you can still raise your hand for the second and third time or fourth time till he or she decides to accept your POI. That is after the first 1 minute. Please, is the rules understood? Do you all get the rules?
Yes,
Any
we
question?
do.
Any question? Okay. So I think we can move on straight onto the motion. And okay, so for the motion we speak, against the motion we speak, then for the motion and against the motion. I hope you understand.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first speaker for the motion, can I see you? Who is the first speaker?
I'm
The first speaker. Okay, the first speaker for against the motion. So I'm guessing both of you are the middleman. I like that. The middleman. Okay, so like I said, we have 10 minutes each, okay, to bring or argue out your point. Then we move on from there. Okay, so Mr. Michael, since you are for the motion, you start now, and your time starts now.
Okay, so good evening once again to the listeners and the viewers. So I want to state the motion again. The motion says that a centralized system of government is the sure way for African development. And I think so, that is the sure way. So I want to bring out the definition for centralized system when we talk of centralized system of government. And in this case, a centralized system of government is one which both the executive and the legislative power is centered at one place at a higher level. So it means that a group of people, a small group of people at the top, controls both the executive and the legislative power. And that is what is meant by the centralized system of government. And we can see some countries like Denmark, France, Spain, Portugal, the United Kingdom, all using the centralized system of government. Okay, so the reason why I side with this motion, that is the sure way for Africa, is as follows. First of all, we have to know that Africa is a developing continent, and even Ghana is also a developing country. And the decentralized system of government, I think that it's not best when it is adopted by the developing countries, but it's very good for the developed countries, but it's not good for the developing countries. Because first of all, we can see that when you adopt the decentralized system of government and you are running it, it's very expensive compared to the centralized system of government. And when we talk of a country is a developing country, it means that the country does not have a stable economy. In some ways, you can say the country is averagely poor, and Ghana is one of them. Africa major is also one of them. So I think that because Ghana, per books and per stats, Ghana is not that economically stable, and Ghana does not have that money. Yeah, it is very difficult for a country like Ghana and Africa as a whole to adapt this system of the decentralized system of government, because it's very expensive to run. And in establishing the centralized system of government, because the legislative and the executive power is centered at one side, you don't need so many departments, offices, ministries in order to run them. So in this case, like opening some ministries, offices, departments to run the nation, it will cost the nation, and the nation does not have that money. That is why I'm saying that it is better, and it will be better if Africa as a whole adapts the centralized system of government, so that we will get all the funds that we used to pay like unnecessary departments. Like when Akufo-Addo came, he established so many ministries that I think Ghana, we don't need even
A POI.
Yes, please. His Excellency, the President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo. Thank you.
Okay.
okay. I don't
Didn't get your
I don't
POI,
get
so if you could give it.
I'm trying to say you can't mention our president's name just like that.
Okay.
His
Sorry, sorry, fellow Ghanaians. Sorry. Okay. So His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, when he came to power, we saw him opening different ministries, and I think that as a developing nation, as a developing state, and a developing continent, you don't need such things, because it's very expensive to run. At the end of the month, you have to pay some ministers, pay a whole lot of departments to execute a simple project, and it will cost us. So I think that first, it's very expensive to run the decentralized system, and the centralized system is more averageable, like more manageable. And secondly, in the centralized system of government, it helps in uniform development. Yeah, it helps like the country to develop uniformly. You see, in the decentralized system of government, because they are, especially in democracy, because they are multi-parties, everybody in this manifesto, everybody want to do this, everybody want to do this to the same nation, different agendas, different vision, different focus. It doesn't match. That it also brings instability to the economy because everybody wants. But with the centralized system of government, development is very uniform. We do it uniformly. There is no instability or whatsoever. And also, for my next point is that in the centralized system of government, it's very easy to implement decisions, and it's very fast too, because there are not so many offices for the agenda to go through. Maybe the president will, or the leader will try to implement something, but in the decentralized system, it has to go to the parliament, go through a whole lot of process, being voted upon, a whole lot that. Sometimes we need a decision very fast in order to save a situation, but because in the decentralized system, it has to go through all these processes. It makes time beat us, so that, and because the situations are sometimes emergency, like we need it very sharp, and because of all those departments, all those system in government, it's delays. So I think that Ghana and Africa as a whole is a continent that we need to make fast decisions in order to get to where we want to get, so we don't have to waste time in doing a whole lot of things. And this will be made so when we adapt the centralized system of government, because plans are implemented easily. And also in the centralized system of government, I think there is much more discipline in the centralized system of government, because in the decentralized system of government, because of the desire for power from different parties, different bodies, they all try to do things that is not according to. So they try to do things because of power. Some people will gather some boys, like what we witnessed in the 2020 election. Mahama said His Excellency former president said that because he was cheated, he gathered some boys to go to the electoral commission, make a whole lot of demonstration, and this is very indisciplined. And because this was made so, because Ghana has adopted the decentralized system, it gives opportunity.
Okay, so POI, do you wish to accept it?
Go on.
Okay.
Please, he doesn't have any evidence on what he's saying. So, if he wants to make a claim, he should have substantial evidence.
Okay. We all heard it when he made a press conference that he was cheated. It was a video that he made.
I was actually talking about the gathering the boys.
He told them, he posted that the boys should gather. He even said that his children are not around to help. I don't know if you heard it.
You said he gathered boys.
He said no, his words, like what he said.
It's as if my opponent is lost.
Okay.
It's never true.
Okay.
I don't get you. Okay. So, but what I want to make clear here is that in the decentralized system of government, there is no discipline, because people can do whatever they like in the name of right to do this, right to do this, right to do this. That's what I want to make clear, that it brings more indiscipline. And also, due to the change of governance in the decentralized system, it brings instability to the economy. It makes the economy unstable, because when this president comes, he will bring his own agenda to do this, and to do that. And when the next president also comes in the next term, he will also choose to do something else, sometimes contradicting what the first president did. And this will bring retard in the development, so that like the state to go way back, because maybe when this president comes and build a school, the schools will be there. But when the next president also comes, he will try to build different schools, neglecting the ones that the old president did because of different parties, and this brings instability to the economy. And lastly, what I want to say is that the centralized system of government brings cohesion and unity among the people, because we all looked up to one system of government. Not that we have MPP, we have NDC, we have different parties, people fighting each other, and it's also one of the things that brings us down. But when when we are unified, we are one as people, as our Dr. Osajefo Kwame Nkrumah did, wanted to unite all Africa, use the centralized system of government to bring us forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, Mr. Michael, for the motion before the House. And these were some of the few points he raised to support his stance. He says it brings about uniform development, quick decision making. It breeds discipline in people and a whole lot. I think this is the one I got.
Less expensive to run.
Okay, so getting comments from Facebook. I'm having this from Godfred Kwashiga Ezra. I hope I got your name right. He's saying that it's loud and clear in Chapel Hill, Gold Washing Bay, around Tadi. Raymond, CEO of Executive Barbering Salon, David Car Rentals has also tuned in together with God's Plan Barbering Salon. Hello and shout outs to all of you and thank you for listening. This is TTU Debates right here on Radio Premier 100.5 on the land of TTU. Okay, moving on to my against four. With the points they've raised, the explanations and the corrections, and he picking out from there. Are you people still against the motion or you are moving home?
Oh, really? I'm still against the motion. With all that my brother even said, it's as if he's even lost. I don't know what he's even saying.
Interesting.
Let me not even start.
Okay, against the four.
The least said, the better.
Okay, for the motion.
I think what my brother said is so right, and I don't really know what they're going to talk about, but whatever they talk about, to me, and then to the nation and to the world, would be invalid. Yeah.
You count that null and void.
Null and void.
I love that.
It won't get anywhere.
I think
Sure.
At the end,
interesting.
observers are going to judge. So no problem.
Observers are worried. Well.
Brothers and sisters.
Okay, so like the music said, brothers and sisters, you understand? We are moving on with our motion. This room is tensed, and we are getting a whole lot of comments and videos from Facebook Live. And those are home too. You can still phone in. It's never too late to call in any of our studio lines, and we'll be ever ready to listen to your opinion and your suggestion on the motion before the House. And these are the studio lines again: 024-781-9113. That is for MTN users, and for Vodafone users, 050-620-3669. You can still phone in, give your candid opinion and comments about the motion before the House. And like we do it, we are moving on straight to the against the four. Against the four, they are still saying that they still stand a chance. Well, me, I don't know, because with these points, I'm a bit convinced. I don't know what they are also going to say. So moving on straight to my against the four. My against the four, please. Are you ready?
Ever ready.
Are
Very
you ready? Okay, so your time starts now.
So once again, good evening to our lovely listeners and viewers. It's I don't know what to say, but then from what my brother Michael was saying on or all the assertion that he was actually making, I was just wondering, why is Michael actually lost or what? Before I actually go on to the point that I actually want to raise, I would want once again to say this, or I don't know whether he meant what he said. He when defining, or when he was actually defining the terms as to the central government, he gave an example of the fact that France is one of the countries practicing the centralized government system, and you are saying that the cost of that system is actually more lower than what we are practicing here. That's the decentralization. It baffles me. It baffles me. This thing. It baffles me. What did I even want to say? Sorry. So, as I rightly said, it actually baffles me because comparing France's system of governance and that of Ghana, which, as you rightly said, is true. France actually practices the centralized system of governance. It's so not true that their system is actually lower than us. It costs lots more. Looking at France in itself, do your research once again. And once again, just to make you know, uh, there's no proof. There's no proof that a centralized system of governance give way to unity in terms of visions of leaders.
Okay,
Remember,
so I think POI.
Yeah.
I'm not taking the POI.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, so it's so not true that a centralized system of governance, all right, give way to a unitary vision. I mean, in terms of the visions of the leaders. Remember that in some France, for example, they have elections, and when it comes to, even though they actually practicing the centralized system of governance, they have different leaders. UK is also an example of that. And when UK, when I would use the Brexit issue for Brexit issue for example. One party of the UK was actually saying that they wanted to come out of the European Union. One party said they wanted to stay in the European Union. But yeah, they are practicing the centralized system of government. What vision do they have for the country?
I think POI.
I'm
yes.
not taking his too.
Okay.
It's all about the parties within. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Every leader has what he wants to make his nation. So the idea or your intention of you telling us that it's a unitary visionary something is also wrong. Let me come to my own point.
Okay.
Now, these are the very main points we are saying, that a centralized system of government is never good for we the Africans. Why are we saying this? First of all, it encourages dictatorship. Really? Giving all the power to a certain group of people. Can you just imagine what that can cost the African man? That's a saying that give a man power and you know what he can't be able to do. And we've tested so many of our leaders, African leaders. Before this whole thing, you were making, my dear brother Emmanuel was making example of Gaddafi creating a whole nice, Libya, right?
Yeah.
Libya. But at the end, did the people really wanted that? Why would you oppress someone just to give them what is good? Why would you have to do that? Do I have to no? I'm not taking it once again.
Okay.
Do I have to sit on someone all in the name of I can't? The person can't be though. Just imagine. I'm holding your neck and I'm baptizing. I'm how do I? Buttoning your dress, and I'm saying I'm doing you good. Is that really good? Is that really possible? At the end, yes, you could build mansions. At the end, the country might be developed, but the people within, would they have sound minds? Remember, you are doing this for the people. You are not doing this for yourself. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And we are saying that dictatorship is a no-go area. Africa has tested that, and it has really destroyed it. At the end, where is Libya now? All the good things Gaddafi did. What are we gaining from that? What are they gaining from that now? It's back to square zero. My second point. Just a group of people carrying the whole burden of a nation. Really? And you're telling me that it helps bring quick decision making. It helps bring quick decision making. That's also not true. It's never true. I don't know where that actually is. A whole person, just imagine, centralized system of governance gives all the power to a single person, a group of people to control the whole country, and they have the whole nation, all the problems at hand. How can they be able to give solutions to what is in the agriculture sector, what is in the education sector, what is in the health sector at the same time? Even here where we have given each minister what designated each minister what he's supposed to do, we are even finding it difficult. And just a few people having been given the power to look at education, to look at health, to look at agric. No, it's so not possible. actually, the burden is even too much.
Another POI.
Okay, I'll take this one.
Okay.
Okay, I want to add, like, say something that in the centralized system of government, it's not that they are not people like taking care of the sectors, different sector, but just that the power is just concentrated at one person. Like in the decentralized system, they are independent. Like maybe the legislative is independent from the judiciary, but they are all combined. So my brother should make his point clear.
Another POI.
No.
Do you take
The
that?
other sector,
coming.
it's not that one person
Come
is
again.
I'm
Come
not
again.
saying that. What I want to tell is that it's not that one person is controlling that the education sector, the health sector. They are different bodies, but just that in the decentralized system, they are independent. The bodies,
I'm
the
coming.
legislative are independent.
Just a question to what you actually said. It's not as if I really understand you, but where are they taking this authority from?
They're taking it from there.
Thank you.
From
So
above.
before I initiate something, I would have to come to you for you to
Sure.
give me the permission for me to do that.
Sure.
Just a single person.
Yeah.
Is that really helpful? No,
Very
just
helpful.
imagine. It's never really helpful. It's never really helpful because one person carrying this whole burden. That's the point I'm trying to make. That in a centralized government, it's never helpful. Whereby I can bring something up, initiate something in the betterment of these whole people.
Another POI.
I'm taking it.
Okay, so let me add a little bit to what my brother said. Now, in the centralized system, it is not that we don't have officials or there are no people helping the president or something. Now, the issue is we have just a little group. The group is just little as compared to the centralized system. Now, mind you, we have 275 constituencies in this country. Do you get it? We have a lot of parliamentarians. Do you get me? Now, you see, when let me take this budget. When this budget was sent to Parliament, now we've had a lot of jabs, and then we have a lot of counter attack and stuff, interruptions and interceptions just on this budget. Now, mind you, if we were operating the centralized system, this budget would have gone through easily to help the people. Do you get me? Now,
It's my
Yes,
time,
so,
so I need to
yes.
talk. So just to answer what he's saying, just imagine. Just look at the point he's actually raising. That if it was a centralized government, this budget would have been just passed on. When there are problems, there are issues that citizens are actually raising. Governance is meant for the people. Government is meant for the people. Governance is not meant for one or two individuals. Governance is meant for the people. So you can't come and see that we should actually centralize everything. We should actually give the opportunity to just a few people to control us, not putting into considerations our feelings, what we are actually going through, all in the name of developing the country. It's not so. It's not possible. Then we are losing the ideology of governance. That is it. That is it. China, for example, is practicing the centralized system, and look at what's actually happening in China now. Now, the minority group in China can't survive because as at now, you can't practice your own religion. Even Christianism is people who are practicing Christianism in China are being chased. Muslims are being killed. A whole lot of things is actually happening in Ghana. Why? Because one person says no, this should be it. And you are really comfortable with this, standing on humanity in the name of making your country better. Well, thank you very much, Manan.
Thank you too. Well, this has been quite interesting, and I'm loving the whole conversation here. Where one raises a POI, hey, Mr. Kojo, why are you afraid to take their POIs or what?
I took their POI,
But-
and I actually made them understand that what they are even saying contradicts their own.
Mr. Michael, what-
Jesus
It can't contradict because
it's actually contradicting,
because
Michael.
even
Because
first of all
Michael,
we
what
are
I
talking about development.
You are talking about development. Yes.
Yeah, like what we have to adapt to develop the country. And you talked about China. Is China developed? Is China developing or developed? Yeah.
No.
We all
yes.
come back to the fact that China is being
Well,
sent to a
okay.
better state
So
because of
holding
their
on to
system.
the ideology
Because of their
of
system.
Sometimes the
And
black
ad-
man does not know what is
and-
good for him.
Are you sure?
Silence
And are
of-
there people happy about it?
order,
They're happy.
Never so.
order. Well, whether China is developed or not, it's still something inside so strong.
taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong so long. Thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Whoa, whoa, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho. Your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place in time. You squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you.
It will blind you, Ampa. Hey, and the studio is heated up. You can still join us on Facebook. If you've not missed anything yet, you can still go on Facebook, rewatch whatever we've discussed, and come and meet us up here at where we've gotten to. It's still Radio Premier 100.5 TTU Debates every Tuesday. It is interesting, it is exciting, and I'm loving the motion before the house today because, oh my God, if you are not careful, there will be punches all over. I mean, I'm ready to hide under my desk. So what about you? For the motion for, after listening to Mr. Kojo, do we call it quits? Like, do we stop this?
Never.
Winners never quit. We are the
Wow.
winners. We can't quit.
Never.
My God. Against what, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Against what, did you hear that? Please, do you have anything to say? Against for.
I always say that let's the listeners be the judges
Judges.
of all these things. They are the one listening.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
mpanyinfoɔ so kaa sɛ mbisi ahwene mpa nkasa.
Oh my God. Okay, so please, you can still join me the fun on Facebook Live where you give your candid opinion and comment about whatever is going on here, and can still call in or phone into us through any of our studio lines. We have both Vodafone and MTN. So for MTN is 024 781 9113. For Vodafone users 050 620 3669. Let's get interactive right here on Premier 100.5 through calls and also on Facebook Live here right now. So we are moving straight to the against the Babu.
Against
Hey, no, for the motion. Hey, see the way against
what I read.
became
Against for us.
Hey, Jehovah.
Why is
Okay, so moving for the motion, the second speaker for the motion before the house, that is Mr.
Sagalin, yes.
Sagalin. Oh, like I love the name. Anyway, so Mr. Sagalin, are you ready?
Yeah.
You also have equally 10 minutes to argue all your points
Okay.
and lay everything bare for your audience. Like I said, the same rules apply for him. After 1 minute, I'll show you a sign that you're done so that people can also bring their POIs. You
Okay.
can either accept the POI or reject the POI. It is your time, it is your limit. But you see, the more you take the POI to, it's a bonus for you as well because you are able to show more intelligence or knowledge about whatever you are doing. Do you get it?
Yeah.
But you can take it at any point in time. You can either refuse and take it later or don't take it at all. So, again, for the motion. Today I'm against those against the motion. Against them. Against the four. I'm against the people. So for the motion, my dear, your time starts now. Shoot.
Okay, good evening once again. I think the evening is already good. So, my brother Kujo has said a lot of things, and he mentioned the Brexit, and then I would like to talk about the Brexit a little bit before I come to my point. Now, with the issue of the Brexit, there are people against, British coming out of the European Union and stuff. Now, the issue is we are not saying that the unity is from the start. We are talking about unity at the end. That is what you're talking about. Now, definitely there will be people who counteract or go against and then oppose whatever you like to implement. It is everywhere. Now let's go back to the old African system. Let's go back to the old Ghana Empire, where we had only the king doing everything and other vassal, other little chiefs. Now the king was more like a god. Now let's go back to Egypt, the pharaonic Egypt. The pharaoh was more like a god, but then still had oppositions. Now, oppositions is everywhere. Now, the fact that there were people opposing British coming out of the EU and stuff doesn't mean that there is no unity. Now, what happened at the end? That is the issue. Whether any fight, whether any quarrels, any conflict, they were united at the end. That is what you're talking about. The centralized system promotes unity. And it promotes unity in the sense that regardless your differences, regardless what you feel, you owe allegiance to to a single or a group of people, a little group or maybe a single leader. So you can't, regardless what you feel, you can't say anything else. You keep your feeling within you, because mind you, let's take this country, Ghana. Now I'll still use the budget, and then he mentioned something about the minority. Now the minority is not always right. Sometimes we often say majority is right. We know sometimes the majority goes wrong, but then mind you, the minority is not always right. Sometimes the minority rise against the majority because they want to introduce something they think is right. Now, what you think is right doesn't necessarily make what you think is right. That is what you think and what you feel. Do you get me? So let's use this budget again. Now, the minority is against the budget and the majority is for the budget. Now, the fact that the minority is against the budget doesn't make the budget invalid, or doesn't mean there is something wrong with the budget. What if the minority is against the budget for their own whims and caprices? What if that is not what Ghanaians want? What if they are doing that just to oppose the president, oppose the NPP government, just to make the NPP government feel how do I even say it? Just to make the NPP kind of they are corrupt. They are not thinking about the country. They are not providing what the country really needs. They don't know the needs and the interests of the people. Have you thought about the other side? Now we are saying the centralized system is the best for Africans. Now he mentioned France, and my brother mentioned Africa being a developing country. We are now developing. We can't act like them. We can't act like the USA. Now we have a lot of parliamentarians. We are going to pay all of them. We are paying all the how much does the country have? Now Kwame Nkrumah introduced the centralized system, and he left something when he was overthrown. When he was overthrown, after the coup d'etat, he left something for the country. Now, after Mahama, what was left? Nothing. After Kufuor, what was left? Nothing. After JJ, what was left? Nothing. The country had nothing. And then we are still in debt. But Kwame Nkrumah left and the country was not in debt, because he practiced the centralized system. He left something for the country, and even had a 60-year plan. Now we have President Akufo-Addo's agenda, and then even the free education, we are finding it difficult to do some implementation. Now let's talk about Kwame Nkrumah's implementation. Kwame Nkrumah started the free education in the north. It was smooth for him to implement because he didn't have. There were not a lot of people to oppose him. The minority will always oppose you when you're practicing the centralized system, because they always want to fill themselves in parliament. They always want to. No, I'm not going to take that.
Okay.
They always want to, make Ghanaians feel their presence. Okay, we are also doing something for you, that kind of vibe, But then sometimes what the president is trying to initiate is the best. Now, free education is one of the best policies ever, and then the minority was against. Why? Because you have given the opportunity to do whatever they want. Now, my brother, what he said, I would say what he said is democracy and not the systems of government. We are not talking about democracy here. We are not talking about free speech. He said we are oppressing the minority. That is when we are trying to tell us that you are not practicing democracy. What you are talking about is the centralized or decentralized. That is not democracy. We are not talking about we are talking about systems.
POI. Do you take that?
I'm not going to accept it.
Okay.
So let's go back to Libya. Now, Libya practiced the centralized system, and then Libya is an African country, and then Libya is far better than Ghana. Libya is far better than our other countries. Togo. Libya is far better. Why? Because they had a strict, and then one system, a little group of people operating, regulating things in the country. Do you get me? And so back to my point. Back to I'm still talking about the unity. Now, in the centralized system, there is nothing like regionalism or sectionalism. There is nothing like that. So it makes the implementation of policies really smooth, and it reduces divisive tendencies. In the sense that the government that I talked about sectionalism and regionalism, the government really wouldn't really go through this. This group, we have this group, opposing the government. The parliament is divided now. Our parliament right now, as we're talking, is divided. Nothing will ever go through the parliament smoothly. Nothing, no policy. The only policy that will go through the government or the parliament smoothly is when you tell them you are increasing their salary. Now you remember when the government talked about taking loans and getting them V8, and nobody, the minority was never against it. The minority never spoke against the V8 and then the certain other ones and stuff.
UK has a parliament.
Yeah, we know.
Please,
We know.
No reason your hand for POI.
We know already.
Thank you very much.
Now, the parliament, the minority never went against that. But then introducing free education, the minority came against it. Why? Because they realized at their time, during that, they couldn't implement it. So you implement it, will make them feel, will make it seem that they did nothing. So they are trying to occupy some space, have their presence felt in the country, make Ghanaians know
POI.
that no,
Okay.
I'm not
POI. If it's not POI, we continue.
they are making Ghanaians just feel their presence, at least make them feel they are doing something. Talking about the president flights, we know it's not, you have to talk about them, but then why are you talking about this? Because we want our presence to be felt. So we are saying the centralized system is the best for Africa because we are still developing, and then we should have systems, strong systems, not systems that can be interrupted, not systems that can be intercepted, not systems that can be counterattacked. Do you get it? For smooth movement, smooth implementation. Then we are talking about equal development. Now let's take Ghana. Now let's take Accra. Let's take somewhere Tripoli. Let's talk about Apremodo. Let's talk about Kumasi. Okay. Now, because we are practicing the decentralized, now initially it was centralized, and then everything was centered in Accra. Now we are practicing decentralized, and you are saying the decentralized system will delegate and then reduce power to the lowest level. Reduce power to the lowest level, and then the minority will have the opportunity to express their view, to initiate their things and their knowledge, and then execute whatever they feel right. Now, everything, although you are practicing decentralized system, everything is still centered in Accra. What makes the country decentralized? Now, if you want to forward something to the government right now, you still have to go to Accra. Where do your ministers meet? Accra. Now, you can have an issue in the country, and then they'll tell you the MP is not around. Sorry, in the town, they'll tell you the MP is not around. Where is he? Accra. We are having MPs in every constituency, but having their homes in Accra. And then we are still saying we are practicing the decentralized system. But it means the country, the system of government, still know there is something good about centralized system that we can't get rid of. There is something good that we should promote. Thank you.
Thank you too. So for the motion, I'm saying that we should still have the centralized system of governance where things would be better and the country can develop smoothly. We can have a quick decision making. Nothing can go through a decentralized system of governance without interruption or
Counteract.
Hey, well, my studio.
But man, you're not being fair. You're not being fair in the sense that certain things my brother was alleging I said.
No. But it's a debate. No, wait.
I'm coming.
Mr. Kojo,
I'm coming.
Mr. Kojo, calm down. it's a debate. Okay, when someone is talking and he doesn't accept your POI, you have no right to interrupt whatever the person is saying until until he has accepted your POI. You can't talk or interfere in his conversation, and it's not up to you to decide. That is why you are two in a group. So it is up to your pair or whoever.
No. That's not the whole thing. I really
I'm not done.
understand.
I'm not done. It's up to your pair to also bring out the point that maybe you didn't say that, maybe he got it wrong. You understand? So you don't have to interrupt him when he's talking if he has not given you the go ahead to ask him to POI. Please, do you get me? Do you get me?
Better.
Do you get me? Good. Thank you very much. Okay, so against the four, the heat there from for the motion. Are we still standing or we are going home? Last man standing or we are still here. Are we going home or we are here?
Can't you see I'm very relaxed?
Oh my god. You're relaxed there. Mr. Kojo,
Yes, dear.
what do you have to say?
She would say everything, so I'm just looking.
She was
at
say, for the motion. They are saying they still have something to say. What do you say?
Oh,
They're
nah.
actually going to back us.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure,
okay.
Sure.
They'll eventually end up backing
Yeah.
you.
Sure.
I love
Definitely.
that. I love the energy. Okay, so those at home, what is your take as well? Facebook Live. What is your take on this motion? What is your take for each contestant? So we have KNUSP and CCC
UCC.
pairing. It is an informal debate, so please, if the school is going to take the one, it's an unofficial debate. Okay, as in we are not really. You get me? You get
It's a
me?
friendly match.
Thank you. In terms of football, it's a friendly match. Very good. And then my TTU students who are still saying we are against. No matter what you do, whether you shake hands or you move as you still stand. And I'm loving the whole vibes at the studio right here. What is your take on this motion before the house? You can still call in, phone in, give your candid opinion. It's never too late. And as usual, I'm going to give out the lines again so that in case you didn't get to the first or the second time, you can get it a third time. So for MTN users, it's 024 781 9113, and for Vodafone users, 050 620 3669. On Facebook, it is Premium 100.5. You just tap on the search button, it will take you there. You click on live and you see us there. And let's get interactive. We bring out your point of views, opinion. Who is your best speaker for today? The best speaker for tonight. You give me your best speaker, then you can move on. That is on Facebook, or you can also phone in case you think Facebook is not making the right decision, and also tell me who your favorite speaker for today is. Against the four. Against the relaxed against the four. I've not seen against for me relaxed down. So this one I'm scared.
They say, when you first time can be say, say to
Hey.
actually be my.
Hey.
That's it. Well, my man can say you. That's it. Behind every successful man,
There is a woman now. I just accept everyone. I like that. So behind every successful Kojo, there is a Laurentia. I love that. I love it. Okay, so I guess it's still standing for Facebook Live viewers. Facebook, please give me your opinion. Why not? I'm a boy, dear. My runs now, Miss Remo. I beg you, people. Okay, so moving on straight to against the four. Against the four. Are we there?
Yeah,
Against the four. We there. Okay, so you host, you usually have 10 minutes, and as usual, when it's 1 minute, I'll let you 1 minute to get done. I'll let you. You can still bring out your POIs in case they are saying something and you feel they are wrong. You can bring your POIs to correct them or put them on the right track. And move on from there. Okay, can ask them questions to confuse them as well. Well, it's just a little bit of tips. Anyways, Miss Laurentia Aban, your time starts now.
Okay, so before I actually bring up my points, I heard my opponent talking about decision making and counter-attacking decisions. Like, I was really surprised because he was trying to say that every decision brought on board by a centralized government should go through, suggesting that whether it's good or bad, it has to go through, which is very bad. There is a reason why we're always having opposition. It is to promote checks and balances. It's like so that everything that you're bringing upon, you know that if I bring something bad, somebody is going to say. So it is going to put you on or in a position where you don't want to make a mistake. Okay, so that is the reason why they are there. So what they are doing is their job. In parliament, what is happening right now is their job. Maybe they are being extra, but it's their job. You get it? And he was also saying that in the times of the kings and pharaohs and what? If they were so good, why is it changed? Why is it different now? You get it? In their time, there was so much suppression. You can't suppress a human being because supposedly you have all the power. That is one reason that my brother said. My brother talked about
Okay,
dictatorship.
so this is a POI. Do you take it or you leave it?
No, please.
Okay, so you keep on.
So
You hold it.
my brother was talking about dictatorship. When you have a centralized system of government, it is definitely gonna promote dictatorship. We can't be in a country where the people are not being heard. That is bringing me to my first point, which is government is kept far away from the people, and it causes this dissatisfaction among the people. You are serving people. You don't have to necessarily do what pleases them, but their voices should be heard. If I am in charge of this country, and I know it's a centralized system of government, I delegate. If I delegate, whatever I tell you to do is what you're going to do. So in the end, it is still my decision that is going to be meted out everywhere.
Okay, another POI. Do you take it or you leave it?
No, please.
Okay, so you bogus it.
They should
Let's
allow
go.
me to speak.
Mhm.
So my decision is everywhere, and that is not how to rule. In as much as autocracy was brought for a reason, democracy was also brought for a reason. You get it? If autocracy was too good, it wouldn't be abolished in so many states to promote democracy. Okay, I have my next point.
Okay, another POI. Do you take it or you leave it?
I would take it.
Okay, so please you keep it.
I don't know why he's uncomfortable in his seat, but he's just relaxed. Okay. Okay. So, employment. We have a country in Ghana. Our preamble was talking about Ghana, so I'm going to limit it to Ghana. We have a country where we don't have employment. We don't have it. It's low. Like the employment rate is very low. You have graduates studying all kinds of courses, and you're telling me that they should be. You're telling me that they should always be in their house because okay. So you're telling me that they should always have, like, they have to accept whatever somebody is saying because they are the leader or they are the dictator. Now we are talking about Africa as a whole. How many African leaders, even in decentralized systems, how many African leaders are willing to go according to the will of the people? How many of them? How many African countries since independence have been able to achieve something for their people, even with decentralized systems? And you are talking about centralized system where they are like no, where their decision is final. How many? Okay, like, and we also have ethnocentrism. When you look at the factors to consider as a centralized system, as a country where there's not so much ethnicities, you have to consider, because in Ghana you have so many ethnicities, and if you have one, even when we have decentralized system, you have some ethnic groups feeling they are superior over others. What if you have somebody who is ethnocentric to come and sit on the seat or the okay, let's say seat? It is going to cause more harm than good. Okay, and the employment, as I was saying, if you have just a few people employed, and in the end it is still what the leader wants, like what the leader wants, that is going to be achieved. Why employ some? Why even delegate? Why even delegate? I feel that we should make people responsible everywhere, and then we know that some people can make some decisions somewhere. We don't need one person. If we need one person, then they shouldn't delegate everything. that person should do it. That group of people should do it. Okay. And my brother, he wanted to say something. Now I want to listen.
Okay, so you
Okay.
can now bring in your
Please,
POI.
he can't talk more than 1 minute.
Wow,
Okay, so-
interesting.
So I told you initially that they were talking about democracy instead of the systems of government that is centralized and decentralized. So she mentioned democracy, that the people, the minority, you have to give them freedom of speech, and in a centralized system you still have the freedom of speech. Now you remember in France there was one person who slapped the president, and then he was taken to the court. Now he had the freedom to express what he felt. He raised this COVID-19 issue, that the president violated the COVID-19 issue, COVID-19 protocols, and then he was freed. I think he was fined just a little, and then left, and then he was, the issue was taken out of court. Do you get it? So I think we should focus on the centralized and the decentralized, and not democracy.
So we can. That is your POI. So we can continue.
Okay. Julia
Another
accepted.
Another one.
Do you take it or you leave it?
Let me take it.
Okay, I want to ask a question. You know, in Africa.
You want to ask me?
Yes.
Okay, let me add.
Yes.
You want to ask me?
Yeah.
Or you want to ask
I
me
want to
another
ask
question?
you.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. In Africa, especially in Ghana, we are saying that we want to be like the West. We want to be like America. We want to be like the European countries, UK and all that. But the question I'm asking is that, what did they do to get where they were, where they are now, that we want to be them? Because we're talking about dictatorship and all that. What did they do? Maybe you know what they did. Maybe what they did was decentralized. That got them there. That we want to be them. So I'm asking, what did they do to get there that we want to be them?
Okay, so
If you are talking about dictatorship and
POI for you.
suppression.
So
That's my question.
Mhm.
To determine what they did for us to be like them.
So if
I'm asking that's the question.
yeah, sure.
Honestly, I can't give you an answer because I don't have any interest in being like the West, so I can't give you an answer.
Okay, so moving on to his POI. No. So
Who-
Just
the one the POI he asked you, so you can continue from there.
What POI?
another POI.
Another one.
Yeah, just a short one.
Okay.
Okay, so the issue you mentioned something about the president not being able to achieve anything with the centralized system. Mind you, no precedent in
I didn't see that.
I think I wrote it down here.
Said
You mentioned, you said how many countries in Africa are able to provide something with decentralized decentralization. You
Yeah,
mentioned
okay.
it. So mind you, so with centralized, sorry, and not decentralized. Now my question is how many?
How many? I was kind of stating that how many presidents, even with a decentralized system, have been able, African presidents have been able to achieve something for their country.
So
Yeah.
so my question is, if you don't have a figure, let's say a direct figure of the number of presidents or the people who have achieved something with the centralized system, we can mention people who have done something with the centralized system. We can mention Kwame Nkrumah, we can mention Gaddafi, and then there are a lot. We can mention what Kwame Nkrumah did in the country. Nobody was migrating during Kwame Nkrumah's time.
He
That
has
is
used
awful.
my time.
Very good. So let's continue. You allowed it, so let's continue.
Exactly. He's overused his time. Okay, so he wanted to say something.
No.
My opponent. My Okay, so I said Gaddafi, Kwame Nkrumah. Gaddafi, what has it been? You see, when you are helping people and they feel oppressed, your help is not going to be valid, because in the end, the help is going to look like choking. You get it? In as much as you're helping them, make the people understand that that is why autocracy was abolished in the first place. Do you get it? Because people felt you are hurting us even though you were helping them. So make them understand that you are doing this to help them before you try to do anything. Okay, so yeah, basically. Or any other person wants to speak.
Okay,
So
I
your
like.
time is up. Thank you very, very much. Hey, against the four. And for the motion.
Against for the
This is I'm loving the whole argument and this whole centralized and decentralized and ethnocentrism and the Brexit and everything is coming on point, and oh my god, I'm still loving the whole conversation. But I want to first of all move on to Facebook Live to see if we have any comments from our listeners or our viewers there, and then we move on straight to against the four. Tell me something for the motion against for the motion.
Yeah.
For the motion.
Yeah.
per whatever she was saying, do you now side with her? So we should
Oh,
go
never,
home.
never,
Oh,
never.
never.
Or you never.
Yeah,
Never.
Hey.
Because
I told you she would actually and eventually end up backing us. So she mentioned some things we mentioned, and then she even mentioned how many presidents, how many African countries are able to provide something even with a decentralized system.
Okay.
So in other way,
You are
in other
quoting
words,
me wrong. He's quoting me wrong.
that's what you
are
actually
quoting me
said.
wrong.
I wrote
Okay.
it down.
I built upon that. To
No, no,
say
I'm
something.
using that
And
sentence.
he's taking
I'm
me
using
out of context.
Okay.
No.
No,
Okay,
don't
so-
take me out of context.
Okay,
please.
okay. So now from Facebook, we are having John Kofi Bigwig Atta. He's saying, "Man, and I see you too." And I'm having this from Solomon Breezy saying, "Nice show, thank you." This is from Daisy Vlavo. This is actually my mom. She's saying, "Please allow the lady to speak." My mom says, "Allow the lady to speak." Okay, this was directly from my mom. And when my mom says something, if you don't listen, she's going to whip your ass. Okay, so please let the lady speak. Okay, so against the motion, since for the motion are saying that they still don't agree with you, should we just let's not go for any second round, let's just go home, like let's just call this a quit, you understand? Or
You know, I've been quiet, not necessarily because of anything, but then because I believe you are being biased in the first place.
my god,
And secondly, because I have a lot to talk about when my time is up, so we are not leaving here until I am done. Actually,
I
talking.
love that.
we
I love
have
that.
the-
Okay,
we have
but
a- we
Mr.
have
Kojo,
a-
being clear on me being biased, I'd like you to
Don't worry.
further
After that,
explain.
you actually go into that.
Interesting. Okay, so Facebook Live viewers, please tell me if I'm being biased. That lovely listeners at home, without you, our program cannot go on. What do you think? Am I being biased or not? People are making me cry. Anyways, that is just by the way. Mr. Kojo, please, I'm not
Yes,
being
if you
biased.
nipa, if you nipa.
Oh my god.
Umbo ya ho ho.
Oko abonti ko didi cry.
Best answer be.
Hey, and then Miss when I come back, you're continue around. Please take a UCC. Which one of you last time to me?
Oh, wait a minute.
I love that. Please, I'm done with you people.
Okay.
I'm done. Okay. So let's just break the silence and the whole tension in the room. Okay. Okay. So now, Mr. Kojo,
Yes,
when everything that they're against the for the motion have been able to say, what is your general? We are going for the general overviews again, okay? Before we go in for the second round. So these are general overviews, okay? So give me your general overview about the first round of the motion. Give me your general overview. My God.
All right. So
You have just 2 minutes to.
2 minutes.
Yes.
Well, personally, I believe my brothers are once again lost because with what Emmanuel was saying, Emmanuel also was actually creating more emphasis on minority and majority. And he is even trying to tell us that we are actually talking about democracy. Yeah, the one talking about democracy over here. Because when we talk about a decentralized system of governance, we aren't actually talking about minority and majority. We are saying that the major offices in government, the major key players in government are being centralized. Their responsibilities are actually being centralized to the least to the last person. You get what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
What about the MMCs? What are they? They are the president of the district and the municipality.
Okay, so Mr.
Okay, so I wouldn't like to go back to him
Okay.
again. You know, I would like to talk
I get
again.
you.
Not because I have lost, but then
I get you.
yeah.
I get you. It's a
but
cool
my issue is the centralized system is the best for Africa.
Okay.
Now we have a lot of countries in Africa, and then Africa is an average country in terms of finance and resources. We have all the natural resources, but financial resources we don't have. That the reason is we are practicing decentralized system. We don't have, but we want to do it. I say own this but also better bands. Own kakana one what they call bands. No we didn't. What I say?
I get you. Okay, so holding on to the thoughts of buying the bands, let's move on to my dear lady. My mom says they should allow you to talk, so please talk.
Okay, so you have I want to build on something that he said. He said that decentralized system promotes indiscipline. Okay, you know we have a constitution for every system, so there is no way that a particular system would promote indiscipline. Okay, and if you are indisciplined, there's something called laws You get it? So anytime that anyone goes contrary to whatever, you will be penalized.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
So like I still think that the centralized system is the best because it all goes down to like the expenses involved in like operating the two. And my sister said something like what I said about the centralized system. But what I want her to understand is that for the centralized system, like example, because of in the decentralized system, because of the human rights and all that, like people are able to do a whole lot of things that brings indiscipline in the government. For example, there is this lesbianism or gayism something coming to the Ghana because of the decentralized system. It's like they have to debate on it. They have to have a majority minority, but in the centralized system, it could have cut off that one.
As simple as that. So holding on to that thought as well. Since we're running out of time, unfortunately, we just have three minutes for the second round. For the second round. So this is the round, like I said earlier on, this is the round you get to wrap up everything. Try to confuse and convince us and let us side with you. Okay. So your listeners, your Facebook Live viewers are all looking up to you for this round. You give us the number of points you've been able to raise. You tell us everything. You summarize everything with instances of fact or whatever you want to say. Yes, my dear, do you have any question?
One person.
No. Everybody gets 3 minutes. All of you gets 3 minutes to be able to sum up everything that you have to say. So since we are already out of time, we are moving on to the first speaker for the motion before the House. So you have just 3 minutes to finish up everything that you have to say.
So,
Your time starts now.
Okay, so let me do it quick. I made point like first of all, it's less expensive to run because Ghana is a developing country and don't have that finance to, influence the decentralized system. And also I also said that it brings a uniform development. It doesn't bring some bias development in the country. And also it brings a single focus, like the focus and the vision of the country is singled. And it also helps to implement decision very fast too. Yeah. And the decentralized system brings instability. That's why I said we shouldn't go for it. But what I want to end with is that those against this motion, I think they are against God.
Those against
This motion, I think they're against God, because we can see from the Bible that ever since started, God has always been centralized until the people decided to voice out. We want a king. We want to speak in power.
Okay, so POI, do you take it or you
I
leave it?
don't know.
Okay,
My
so
time is short.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that sometimes, especially we the Africans, we don't even know what is good for us. So when someone is doing what is good, we think the person is opposing us, because we ourselves sometimes don't even know what is even good for us. So we try to fight the person. Africans tried to fight Gaddafi until he died. When they saw that no, this man was bringing something good. They fought Kwame Nkrumah. When he died, they said, what you did, he didn't go. I'm sorry to say. So what I want to say that for a better system of government, I think the centralized system is very good, because right now when we chose the decentralized and it has failed us, we are all crying back to Kwame Nkrumah. We want Kwame Nkrumah. You can see the Fix the Country demonstration. We want Kwame Nkrumah. We are praying Kwame Nkrumah should resurrect. So what I want to say is that if the president is listening, let us go to the centralized system of government.
Okay.
Choose his
Thank
pronouns well.
Thank you. Thank you.
We.
Okay.
Yes, we.
Okay.
Like we.
Okay. Hey, against the four.
Like Africans.
Anyway, we are moving on straight to for against the motion. The first speaker against the motion, Mr. Kojo. So your time
Okay.
starts now.
Right, so the point I also raised was the fact that this actually encourages, a centralized government actually encourages dictatorship. And for a continent like Africa, it's one thing that we actually shouldn't entertain, because we felt it before. We know how it was like Cote d'Ivoire. Please, many of people died. Gaddafi's reign, many of people died. In as much as the country was developed, at the end, the people resisted because they were being oppressed. And it's not about freedom. It's not about freedom of speech, but then the will of freedom to feel and to know that what you are actually going through, you are actually being heard. Someone listens to you. I also talked about the control of governance is overburdened. One person or a group of people actually having carrying the whole governance problem on themselves. This was actually would lead to dissatisfaction. At the end, they can't satisfy all of us, and that will push us to once again talk and talk that much. And just in case that this centralized government that we are talking about is being practiced over here, normally we do call our president and his people, we say family and friends, right? Achim mafias and all those kind of things. When this happens here, centralized governance, it's even going to push that thing further, leading to this electricity and all those kind of things coming into the play. Because when a group of people from the Ashantis, from the Ewas, from the north, whatever it is, are actually the leaders of this country, with nobody actually being able to tell them or also come into play to bring about separation of powers, there's going to be there's going to be that tense whereby the development will go to only the north, the development will go to only the Ashantis, the development will go to only the west, and nobody at all would also have to benefit. Thank you.
Thank you too. So nobody at all would actually benefit from all this. Moving on straight to the second speaker for the motion, Mr.
Emmanuel Sagalin.
Sagalin. I want to
Sagalin.
say it. Yes, Sagalin. Okay, so your time starts now.
Okay, so I like what my brother said, that development will be centered at one place. Now let's go a little bit back to Kwame Nkrumah's era. Now Kwame Nkrumah practiced the centralized system of government, and then we are saying with the centralized system of government, everything will be centralized at one area. That's what they are saying, but I believe it's so wrong. Now, mind you, Kwame Nkrumah separated everything. Centralized system of government promotes equitable development and not equal. You should know the difference between equality and when we say equal and equity, they are different. Now, Kwame Nkrumah realized the North people have higher problems. Their problems are much greater compared to those in the South. He gave them free education. Now, we practice the decentralized system. We are saying free education for everybody, whilst there are people down here who can pay the fees. Do you get it? There are people down here who can pay the fees. So you are still wasting the country's money. Now, Kwame Nkrumah practiced the centralized system, and then he left something for the country. When he was overthrown after the coup d'etat, the country still had something. Now we have Kufuor practicing this decentralized, and then what did he leave? Nothing. VAT. He introduced VAT, and then he still left a debt. We have Mahama, the former president, the NDC, Mahama, leaving debt. Akufo-Addo will probably leave debt. When his first government, he was indebted, and still the country is even indebted much ever than we ever thought. Do you get me? So I'm saying the centralized system is the best for the country, is the best for Africa, is the best for the world. Now let's talk about France. France is way developed. France is way developed as compared to any African country. Let's talk about Spain. Let's talk about China. Let's talk about Portugal. Which African country has achieved something with decentralization? Which president has achieved something with decentralization? No country. They all have policies that they can't implement. They have policies that can go through systems. Why? Because definitely there will be someone to oppose you. Now, we are not saying you do not oppose it. Do not oppose the policy, but some policies are right, but because of the decentralization, the policies are not implemented. And then with the decentralization, we say it allows more people into the government. It allows the government to establish more offices, and then I think and I feel the resources of the country is being wasted. We have 275 constituencies, so meaning the parliament has to increase more people into the system, and then we are paying all of them. We are paying the MMCs and blah, blah, blah. We are establishing offices for them. But with the centralized system, I think we are going to need just a little bit of people, and then the rest of the money goes into the country. Do you get me? So I would always say the centralized system is the best for the world.
Is the best for the world. Against the motion, against the floor. The floor is yours.
Alright, so I wouldn't want to debunk anybody's issue again. I spoke about the government being far away from the people, such that the voices of the people are not heard. I also spoke about causing dissatisfaction among various sectors. You have me working under you, and per my personal principles, maybe you tell me to go and do something. I have been delegated. I cannot do nothing about what you said, so I have to go and do what you say, even if I know it is wrong. You get it? And I also have low unemployment rates being high, because you are saying we should cut them off. Yes, when we cut them off,
Period. Nine.
when we cut them off, what do they do? Okay, it is a source of employment to some people, so you can't just cut them off. And I also spoke about I also spoke about ethnic dictatorship, okay, or ethnocentrism, okay. So basically, that are the four things that I spoke about, and I still insist that the House should be against this motion, because it is dangerous for Africa as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you too. That was quite interesting, and I love the whole against and for the motion. But when you've got into, here is where we threw all the for and against the motion away. Here we are going to talk about facts. We are going to we are not talking about the stance anymore. Okay, it's a general discussion about the motion before the House. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you are for the motion or you are against the motion. You just have to give your candid and as in genuine opinion about the motion before the House. I don't want you to take sides. You can, maybe you were for the motion, but right now you want to speak against the motion. Doesn't mean that you're supporting them, but that is your candid opinion about the whole centralized and decentralized system of governance. Okay, so this is where we get to. So let's start with those in the middle.
Jesus.
Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
you have 1 minute.
Okay, so I think I'll take the two sides. I think they are all perfect, depending on the system, the original system of the country. You know, some countries are doing so well with the centralized, and some countries are not doing so well. But then the issue of Africa is we try to be like them. We are all trying to be like them. So I think we should know what we need and what is good for us. I think Gaddafi practiced the centralized because he felt that people need a lot of things. And then remind you, when he practiced the centralized, there were a lot of people coming from the south, going from the south, moving from the south to the north, just to make ends living. And nobody was coming to the south. Nobody came from Libya to although people came, but then nobody would come from Libya to Ghana to be like maybe Pisca. Yeah, free Ghana and call Libya. What you say? So I think we should know what is good for the country, what the country really need, and then the system. We shouldn't be say Mako UK, Matana UK, and then Matana US, and the US practice the centralized, and then it's so good for them. So I'm going to initiate it in my country when your people are divided already. So we should know what we need before we implement anything.
Okay, so Ms. Laurentia, what is your take on it?
As you said, it's basically the truth. You see, wherever you are, whatever that you are practicing is actually good for you. Looking at our country like this, we do not have any problem. Our only problem is that we cannot hold our leaders accountable. Okay, so everywhere whatever you may be practicing, it is the best for you, because every country, as I said, or every country has constitutions which are legal laws that are binding them. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you too. So Mr. Kojo.
Well, just as my sister and my brother actually said, depending on the countries, whatever it is, it goes for us all. If it fits your country, why not? It has worked for some people. Centralization has worked for some people. Decentralization also worked for some people. So why not? What's the name? USA is more like a confederation, and they actually goes about the decentralization. Federal, and they actually go about the decentralization process, and it's working for them perfectly.
Okay, thank you too. Okay, so Michael.
It all goes down to what we need as a nation, as a continent. Like, what do we need to develop it? It's not like maybe someone has practiced a centralized system and has made it means that you also practice the centralized system and made it, or the decentralized. But it all goes down to what do we need. But even though we are not against or for, but I want to say this, that the centralized system of government and the decentralized system they are all good in their ways. They are all good, and in some ways they are all bad. But let us as Africans look what we need and implement it.
Okay, let us all look at what we need as as my panels have already said, they feel like both the centralized and decentralized system of governance is very good, depending on the type of or origin of your country, the states or
The
what?
system you feel.
Okay, the system that your country is in, you can just implement all those. That so. Thank you guys so much for passing through this evening. You graced my studio with your presence, of course, and with your candid opinions, your debate, your argumentative side, and your honest side. I love this so much. You're able to combine all and was able to bring us at least something for us to hold on as Ghanaians and also as listeners of this debate. In as much as the debate is a fun based something, it's also educative. Okay, we get to educate people out there to also know certain things about their countries. We talk basically about socials, we talk about politics, we talk about everything every Tuesday right here. So as you are going to your various homes, don't forget every Tuesday you still can join in on Facebook Live, okay, or you can listen on Premium 100.5 and call in to also give us your opinions, your suggestion about every motion that passes through. And you can, of course, don't be a stranger to my studio. You can also equally as much pass through anytime to have a debate with all of us. I want to say a very very big thank you for all of you for coming this evening, and I hope that as the days progresses and as we increase and we become blessed and blissful by the day, we'll continue to be TT Debates right here on the land of Takrady Technical University, the land where everything grows. I am blessed to have you all. And if you have anything to say, does anybody have anything to say to anybody out there or anything like a shout out or something? Okay, so Mr. K,
I have a friend that was eager to listen to me, and I hope he did. Rexford, his name is Rexford.
Okay. So I got message from you from Daisy Blabo also saying that Mickey with two hands.
Madam. Mama D.
2 hands. Okay. Yes, so that is basically it. Does anybody else have anything to say?
Okay.
Yes.
So I want to give a shout out to all the ladies in engineering and all and all the ladies out there and all the men who don't have muscles.
Of course. So Mr.
Kojo.
Mr. Kojo, so basically just taking you out of it. So women in engineering, wine, right? Okay, so a shout out coming from Laurentia to all of you. Okay, so Mr. I want to say it too. Sagalen. I'll say your name. I'll keep on saying. Yes, Mr. Sagalen. Any shout out to anybody listening proudly, anybody at home.
Okay, I would say shout out to all the English students out there, all those trying to be English gurus and grammarians and stuff. It's a good thing. Let's keep learning the English language, and even those who can speak the English language so well, I think we can learn. There's more time. English is a universal language, and they can't do without it. So let's all try, and especially our females, so we can stop saying the like, and then we can say some other things. You can express ourselves so well. So all the females and all the males out there, sometimes we the males, we don't really like the language. We prefer the pidgin and then the other stuff to English. But then I think if you're male and then they speak English so well, I think you get the girls more,
I know, right?
Yeah,
You've already got to me. Okay. So, Mr. Kojo, my favorite guy in the studio with a muzzle. Oh my God.
To all our listeners, we say thank you very much. To our viewers, to Charlie, that must be more so just keep watching.
Yes. Okay, so that was from my panel. Thank you guys so much for passing through. To all my listeners, oh my God, you guys have been amazing from day one till today. You've kept me with your calls, with your motivations. People actually call me and they're like, oh, I love the show last week, I love the show yesterday, and it's so encouraging to hear people actually appreciating your work. And from Facebook as well, I love you guys so much for even getting time bundling to come and watch us live on Facebook. God richly bless all of you and everybody trying, especially on Facebook Live, and you try to even comment and like and share as well. You guys have been totally amazing, and I really, really appreciate it. There will be presents coming up this December, so stay tuned, stick and stay. Invite your friends to also come and listen every Tuesday right here. We bring nothing but fun, education, and exciting episodes with more interesting debates or topics to debate on. I have been yours truly, Mami Manan Asase. Like we always do it, it's TTU debate right here in the land of TTU. Like I say, the land where everything grows. Premier 100.5. It is yours and yours forever.
The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. Thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Whoa, whoa, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice,